Guys, it's me again, Joey, Bisaya reader. Welcome back to another video, and for today I am going to recommend you some of the young adult contemporary books that I highly suggest that you need to check and read as soon as possible if you haven't read them. I personally see that you will definitely enjoy these books, and probably you might include these books as one of your all-time favorites. And yeah, without further ado, these are the books that I highly recommend you guys need to check as soon as possible. Again, these are young adult, under young adult categories, and under the genre contemporary. So we all know that contemporary books are really kind of slow paced compared to those the fantasy genre and science fiction genre. It's more of a character driven over plot driven, but in some cases there are some exceptions. In this case, this is the David Arnold's Strange Fascination about Noah Hypnotic. This is a young adult contemporary published way back in 2018. David Arnold is the author of Mosquito Land and The Kids of Appetite, if you have heard of those books. And basically, we are following our main character, which is Noah Hypnotic. He is a very known varsity swimmer in their class, and then one night he decided to go to the party together with his classmates and friends, and then he was tricked into this cold experiment, and then the day after the party he just woke up and he discovered that his life totally changed. Basically, before the party, he knew his younger sister as the one who don't love breakfast with Tiffany, and then the next day after the party, he discovered that his younger sister is obsessed to the Breakfast at Tiffany's movie, and then have been also he met some people who he does not have any idea who these peoples are before the party, and now most of these people probably know him, and they do have a prior relationship built before the party which he can't really remember. So basically, this is a book that has a science fiction twist to it, and we are following our main character since it's a coming of age story where he's about to graduate from high school and choose where he needs to go to college and what degree he's going to take. And also we follow our main character Noah Hypnotic, where he do have some struggles and issues with regards to not from only from his identity but also with his relationship with his friends, also his love life, because he's been hitting one of his childhood crush, a girl, friend zone him, and then he's not really ready to be separated by this person because again they're going to college and they're choosing schools. So basically, this is a coming of age story, and something that we was not able to, for me personally, I wasn't able to experience, but reading this I was able to empathize with those people who choosing a degree in college definitely took a lot of effort or took a lot of strength from them on that. Basically a stage of their life though where it's really critical, deciding what path you're about to take. And this one we follow our main character, and we just really felt how it's really hard to decide what degree you're about to take, what school you need to what school you need to go to, and if you're really ready to be separated from your family. And yeah, basically that's it. And this is a very polarizing books compared to the pacing. I do still have some issues with regards to the pacing in this one, because I do see that this is kind of slower compared to the standard speed of the pace of contemporary books. This is way slower than I expected. That's why I do see why other people don't like this. It's also very confusing based on the synopsis I told you. There's a science fiction twist to it, so that might add to the complexity of the story. But overall, it was just a really fun read, very confusing read, but it really made sense at the end. So I highly suggest you might love or you might hate this. If you want to check which side you are on, you need to read this. The next book I'm going to recommend under the young adult contemporary is going to be probably one of the darkest young adult contemporary I've read in my entire life, and this is going to be The We Are the Ants by Sean David Hutchinson. This is an all-time favorite of mine. This is under the this one has a LGBTQ theme, and this also have as a science fiction twist to it. So basically, we're following our main character named Henry. He was abducted by aliens, and then he was taken into the spaceship of these aliens, and he was asked to press the button. And if he's going to press the button before the time was given to him, the world will be destroyed. If he decides not to press the button before the time that was given to him, basically he's going to save the human race. So basically, Henry is coming from a family where, in general, he do have a lot of reasons why he needs to press the button, because his life sucks, financial problems, broken families, problems with bullying in school, and a gender identity crisis. So basically, everything is pointing towards his decision to point or to press the button and end his life and end the entire world. So we're basically following this character as he tried to think what he's really going to do with regards to the challenge that the aliens gave him. And this is really dark, and just some trigger warnings. This is very, very depressing. So um, I suggest before you read this one, you need to make sure that you are in the you need to prepare yourself from these kinds of themes. There will be a lot of issues with regards to family problems, and this is not only we're not only following our main character as he tried to coming out of age story, trying to discover his real gender identity, because we are also following one of the main characters, which is a son of an ex-convict or a son of a prisoner, and he's being bullied because his father is a prisoner, is a murderer, and they met each other. Henry and this guy met each other, and then yeah, I don't want to spoil you, but it's really dark. There were a lot of scenes where some of the characters tried to kill themselves, so I highly suggest you need to prepare and make sure that you can you're ready for these kinds of themes. Also, what I highly love about this book is the relationships of these characters towards their sisters and their family, their relationship with their family members. It's definitely a must read, and yeah, you need to check this one out. This will surely be an all-time favorite of yours. I'm that confident, and I'm pretty sure you've heard other people talking about this one and how good this one is. And also, kudos to the author for the science fiction twist. This might sound as a science fiction, but it was just a very vague synopsis. If we're going to read it and finish this one, it's basically a contemporary read. The science fiction definitely did help to improve the pace of the story, so you will not catch yourself being bored reading this one, because the science fiction makes the story really interesting and keeps it going. So I suggest you check this one. The next book I'm going to recommend you guys checking is going to be autobiography. It's completely different to We Are the Ants. It's not as dark as We Are the Ants. It's actually really vibrant and bright. You can see the cover, but it's similar to We Are the Ants because this is a young adult contemporary with an LGBTQ theme to this one. Basically, we are following our main character. He is a new kid in town. He's coming from atheist family. They are a very scientific people. They don't believe probably in religion, and he goes to this Mormon school where it's really religious, and in this town is really religious. And he went into he's really a very good he's a really really smart child. He's about to graduate, and he decided to take this class where he wants to write a book. And then in this class, he met this substitute teacher, which is a new very famous author who is a son of the pastor and coming from a very religious family. And basically he just fell in love with this guy. They fell in love with each other, and so yeah, overall this is we're following our two main characters as they try to fight for what they feel, and try to fight and for their relationship. At the same time, they're trying to consider their reputations, especially the guy who is the son of the pastor. He's trying to choose between what's really right and what's really wrong, if he's ready to choose between the love of his life or protect the reputation of his family. It's basically trying to fall in love to the person, but that person is not the right person based on your religion. So it's the kind of thing of this one. It's really fast paced. and it's really short. It's a fast read, and I highly suggest you need to check this one out. Christina Lauren is a very famous author. They're actually Christina and Lauren. They're two-person, and I'm pretty sure you'll definitely love this one. This is not cringy. This is very relatable and very realistic. It's not that something that, oh, it just happens in the movies or in the books. Basically, this one is really happening, and that's why I can see that why people really love this book. So yeah, you need to check this one out. And also the writing style was really simple and direct to the point. It was not flowery, so that really helped the book. The next book I recommend you guys checking under the young adult contemporary is going to be Far from the Tree by Robin Hemway. This is the winner of the National Book Award. This is the book that defeated The Hate You Give, by Andrew Thomas. This is, we are following our three main characters. They are orphans. They are actually brother and two sisters, where they were adopted by separate families. They knew they have brothers and sisters. They have siblings, but they actually don't have, or haven't built relationship with each others because they were just really young when they were separated. So they grew up in different families. One was suffering from depression, one was suffering from gender identity crisis, and the other one was suffering from acceptance because he do feel that he's been transferring from one family to the next family, and he always feels that he don't belong. And basically, one day they decided to meet, and to meet each other and try to really look for the answer why did their mother gave them away. So they really want to, basically they just want to know. They want to know the answer to their question, why did the mother gave them up, why did the mother gave them away. And if only they were just raised all together under the same roof, under the same family, even though they don't have enough money and stuff, it could have made a big difference. They could have been not suffering for what they're basically suffering right now. It's definitely a must read because it delivers a tons of emotions and a tons of lessons that we readers can definitely learn from this book. The three main characters was really perfect. They were really well written, and the story itself was heartbreaking and heartwarming. It's also dark. Again, there's some trigger warnings for depression, and yeah, I highly suggest you to pick this one up. The next book I highly recommend you guys checking, and probably the last book on this video, is going to be another dark and a lot of trigger warnings also. But this one is a must read, and this is The Serpent King by Jeff Zetner. This is his debut novel. We are following three main characters. Also, they're actually friends, and their school, they're basically the rejects. They're at the bottom of the food chain, where the one is a loser because he's a nerd. He's a big fan of this weird book, and he is a die-hard fan of this author that he wants to see. That's his end goal. He wants to look for a job and save money and to meet his favorite author. The other one is a vlogger. She came from a very well-off family. Her fathers are dentists and doctors. She's an only child. She is a vlogger, and she's really an introvert. Her friends are only not the sassy and rich ones. Her friends are only the rejects, and she is kind of fashionista. She really loves fashion because she's vlogging fashion. She wants to go to these hidden shops and purchase clothes, try them, and post them in their vlogs. He really want to go to this university really far away from home, and then be a successful, fashion vlogger, or designer. The last main character is going to be the son of a pastor, which this pastor was prisoned because this pastor used to ask the people in the church to drink the venom from the snake. That's why it's called the Serpent King, because his father was the Serpent King, and he asked the people who went to the church to take the venom to prove their faith to God, and basically it didn't work. He was tagged as the murderer because he killed of course, all of these people was poisoned. And yeah, the child, our main character, was tagged as the son of the Serpent King, and people are actually bullying him, and even older people who is related to those people who died based on what his father did is actually after him, and he's really suffering what his father did. And he is growing together with his mom, and his mom is doing some multiple jobs just to have these means to send him to school and to send him to college because he's about to graduate high school. So yeah, these are the three main characters, and they find some common, grounds with each other. They have found a support system with each other, and this is really really dark, really heartbreaking. And basically, the entire theme of this one is how these three main characters, which are really coming from different backgrounds, different walks of life, found comfort and found safety from the relationships, the friendships that they build with each other. And it's really a must read how they really help each other to look for, decide to what school to go, what university, what degree to take, and at the same time trying to be with them or be there for each other when it comes to if it's really going bad in their house. It's really a must read and really very heartbreaking. I really cried a lot on this book, which I did not really expect because I was just really expecting another fast read, but no, it took me several days to move on from the things that really happened in this one. It was really emotional, very heartbreaking. I highly suggest after reading this one, you will catch yourself. You know the you're still going to think about the things that happened in this book, and definitely is a very memorable read. So yeah, basically guys, that's the end of the video. These are the books I highly recommend you guys checking. If you haven't read this one, these books are a must read, and you need to read them as soon as possible. Oops, I dropped one. So thank you so much again for watching, and my name again is Joel, Bisaya reader, and have a good day. Bye bye.